Alright, so I guess this will be like the first episode of the Thingamabobby of, well, vendors, good, bad, and the ugly. And I guess we'll start with the bad and the ugly rolled up in one. And, well, to get this started, we'll take this whole please stand by thing right off. And I'm still going to do it in the stream format because I put everything to stream just, well, because reasons. And, well, let's see if we can get this thing to do what it's supposed to do. Nope, that didn't work. And it's probably going to make me have to redo that portion again. Where the hell is this thing? Oh, here it is. There it is. So, I guess we'll just go ahead and right on into it. So, I was really kind of prompted by this one other thing about blogs and reviews and cool stuff of all that nature. And then I got to thinking, well, I could totally just, stream it and it'll go to a recording. Why am I not doing this? Especially when I've come across multiple bad vendors in Second Life. Of course, there's some absolutely fantastic bangers like VRision or Version and stuff like that. I'm going to cover that on a good one because he makes these cool light up stuff and shoes and kind of a 90s sci-fi vibe. But we're going to start with the bad because why not? Because it could only go up from here. So anyways, as I already have myself propped up here, and I'm probably going to do a better format in the future where I don't have all this other lingering crap around on my screen. But, well, okay, so 718 is what we're starting with. This guy over here on like a little client thing to the side. So one day, I'm going to start this with a tale, and it was granted some time ago. We went to a cool little, go into the store thing. There's several bits, like just one of those overall shopping, event things that is just, hey, cool stuff over here, cool stuff over there, cool stuff over here. And we saw what was, I will admittedly say that the 718 guy has some cool looking boots. So we had questions. And I figured, okay, well, I'll just ask for my my girlfriend over here. Speak up, Valde, if you are okay with being on stream.
Yes, you asked for me.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know if that's coming through as well, but we'll find out on playback. So I was supposedly banned from the store for defaming the store. Here's the thing, though. The only thing I've ever said that was bad about the store, to my recollection, was that, yeah, we went to go shop, I asked a question, and then we weren't allowed to shop there anymore. That's it. So how about you, Valde? If you were banned as well, and if I was banned for this, weren't you banned? And did they ever give you a reason why you were banned?
I got banned just because they banned you, and I was there with you.
Exactly.
So,
And I was
yeah.
plenty able to travel there at the time when we both just kind of stopped by there because it was just a random shopping event, right?
Yeah, they had something on sale for weekend sales, so we went there. And
I thought that's when we found out that we were banned.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think we just went there because you had seen those boots on someone, and you said, "Oh, you'll really like these."
Yeah, the
So we
design was
went.
cool.
We went, and they were pretty expensive, but I can't remember what question you were asking them.
I honestly don't recall either, and I really don't have too much to go back on because this was quite a while ago, and I've gotten rid of history. I'd have to go literally digging through my archive files because I did a clean reinstall. But I just simply asked them, a simple question. I know it wasn't nasty. I don't generally try to start any kind of thing on the wrong foot. I mean, I literally have a capybara model that was named after me, a street capybara, because one, I'm also known as Cap, but also because I try to get along with almost everyone, even when they're really foul out the gate, because it's just better business to try and be cool with people. So, this one individual, though, I kind of messaged back because, well, a kind of interesting question kind of came up of people and bloggers and like, hey, well, what do you know about this guy? And like, have you had a bad vendor experience? I'm like, oh, I've had some. And it just kind of came up like, oh yeah, this guy is at this one shopping event that I'm not gonna, throw the name out there to cast any kind of shade because, that's what this guy's gonna try and claim that I've been doing, like to all bunch of stuff and all bunch of stuff. But I've really not brought it up again till now because, well, it kind of came up where I said, so let's see, I have the client right over here. So you all see what has been said on this day here of 5/6/2025. So I was like, so yeah, I've been wondering why I got banned for bringing something in the past. And of course I went on and said all customer, oh, this is his reply, his automated reply about all customers please visit the CSR tab in the profile and stuff like that, which at the time I don't think he had. I could be wrong. But then I just kind of went on like, and then there's like, and then someone else got banned just because I asked a question for her. That of course would be Valde over here, who's not currently on screen. If you want to be on screen, you can though, Valde. You can just like step slightly behind me and to my right. So I said that, and sure enough, because I was figuring we'd ask one more time before we'd like run a blog story and the likes, because it's kind of a thing that kind of came up with. Again, the have you had bad experience, blah blah blah, and so I'm like, why am I not doing this? So I decided, well, now we're gonna do this, because he came back with this answer. So you think that threatening me is best approach? And will you get you anything you ask for? Real one, chat. I didn't ask him for anything. I just kind of asked so why he did that. I've never asked any of this things from any of this guy except for a question about a product. And then we came back another time we couldn't go there because we were randomly banned. So going on, I don't know who you think you are or how, let's soak in, chat, you feel that it is appropriate in any way for you were removed for publicly defaming my store, and I have zero obligation to allow you back. And honestly, that in itself makes it incredibly odd that you would want to return. In my first place, I'm going through multiple accents to think maybe I'll line up one that'll piss them off some more. But anyways, it basically then followed with that said, I have nothing more to say to you, so do as you will. Well, do as you will, I guess he's got really nothing to hide, and it's probably going to get me in trouble. Although, what's going to be tackled here is that, oh, well, you can't copy-paste messages in Second Life or anywhere else because that's against the rules. Here's the thing though, when it comes to streaming and recording and blatantly a live message here, because this is not AI art moving up and down that fast, that quick, without some kind of other problem, yeah, if you're going to potentially get me banned for just some of the foul shit I come across here in Second Life, for what people say or people do on a vending level, then you're going to have to literally ban everybody who streams who ever received a message just on a whim. And I don't think Linden Labs would want to take that route. Now, so if I were to get banned, that would be the only reason why. Because I've followed very much to the letter, so much on the rules and, terms of service, but we'll just call them rules for short, that I would be thrown out for, because the last time I had any kind of issue on my profile was literally a warning for supposedly littering, and then I had to explain it to this Linden that you realize that these vehicles get lost all the time because they have a bad crossing and they keep going as we stop and we crash out and we have no way of knowing where it goes. And then they try to, come back with, well, you could put a script in it that makes it go away. And I'm like, no, we actually can't on a regular, because there's so many vehicles that are no mod that if you made that a dictated reality, that means so many inventory bits would be gone. You would have to make an effort to go through everybody's inventory profile to get rid of these vehicles that are on the market that are no mod and without that script to automatically go when they stand up. And who wants to have a car or an airplane, often in my case, that just magically goes away the moment you stand up? That's a little immersion breaking. But anyways, so we won that one, and then suddenly that warning got pulled off of my profile to follow with several other people's warnings got pulled off that profile. So the only way things really change is when mass accountability comes into play. And the world today really seems to really force people to drift away from any kind of accountability, especially when they're the ones in taking a lot of money for some interesting reason. So anyways, that's where it comes on with this fellow, this Azazel Macabre. So apparently he thought it as a threat for me talking to anyone about the whole potential ability of the blogging of the situation going on about the story. And I'm like, why should everybody else get this kind of cool fun to do all this? And do it like all quiet when I can literally just stream a thing, record it, and look at these absolute schmucks who say, oh, well, you were banned for defaming my shop? Here's the thing. Sir, are you a time traveler? Because the only bad thing I've ever said about your shop is that you, you kind of banned me and Valde for asking a question, and she didn't even ask the question. She was just next to me at the time I messaged a question. So how is it that if this is your official reason for defaming your shop, that suddenly, some way, somehow, she's banned as well? Well, then it would really have to be that you're a time traveler there with your message that's up there on my right. Because there's no other way that I could have been banned for defaming your shop when this is literally the first time on a more official level I've said anything. And the only other time I've said anything about that was literally because you banned me. So you banned me because I was going to say something in the future? I guess maybe Valde's about to say something in the future too, because she's also banned at the same time I was. Fascinating. So this is probably what you're going to be getting into with 718. Now, granted, I will say, their boots look pretty cool. I often glance over and see them, well, like, man, that sucks that guy banned me, because we could have been shopping there. He was kind of being a dick, because I've never had an exchange with him. He never explained why I was banned. Just banned. I just guess he was another one of those vendors in Second Life that would say things like, people who message them are not normal because they have to go through these other things, yada, yada, yada. That makes, yeah, it's kind of nonsensical. And I try very carefully to look through profiles, especially these days, because a lot of them, if you message them direct, well, they'll ban you, which is really not helpful when it comes to the market. So, as good as something might look at first glance, shine and materials and stuff aside that may or may not do right, or the fact that the price is actually really kind of high and, well, higher than a lot of others. And I've gotten, well, cool things from like Vision, or Version, I think the name is, that, quite frankly, I like a whole lot more personally that I would actually wear personally for less. Considerably less. And not even on sale. Less. So, we'll just wrap it up right there. I felt that it was time to, maybe this is time for a change. Since I guess the only way that Linden Labs would ban me for sharing a message is generally supposed to be copy pasta, because who could really fake or forge this live screen action right here onto a recording and have it be some kind of magical form of AI art, unless I'm paying thousands upon thousands of dollars for someone to CG forge it for me? Which, with this frame rate that you're looking at here in this world right now, I think would be very costly and unlikely. Speaking of which, this is a cool little rainy spot that we're just kind of hanging out here. But yeah. So, well, you said do as I like, And I'm probably not going to win any bonus points like this. In fact, I might put myself in all kinds of more bullshit. But I kind of had enough. And this is the sort that we run into Second Life, this guy right over here. Some Azazel Macabre, who is going on about threats, defaming his shop. Well, now I am defaming the shop. I'm defaming the shop in the fame of a bad review. Because this is a man's right to review something, even if it's just simple shopping experience, interaction with the storekeep, and your product, sir, does not make up for this kind of behavior, frankly. And you could say all you want about my quote-unquote behavior or that threats would get me anywhere, but it seems like you wouldn't answer until that little bit that I even brought up, that there was going to be a blog story run. I find that fascinating and telling too. So does that answer your own question, that what I would get out of your perceived, that you felt threatened? That was going to be the only time that you felt the need to answer someone who's been shopping or storing over your goods, to just do that? But anyways, I'm going to go cut off here before it gets too long. But thank you for tuning in and checking this out. And, well, I will say one more time, some of the boots, they look kind of cool in design. But a lot of it's cover-over boot styles that, frankly, a lot of people sell the same model with different texture work, of course, because a lot of people, indeed, buy up from off the internet and then do their own additions to it. And there's some people who make the things in SL and then in turn sell them to other creators to do the detailing. And there's nothing illegal about that, but it does mean that you're going to get a very similar product from other places. That I know some store keeps myself who do that, and they know they should be nice to the people that they work with, and that they should know to be nice to the people who are just shopping. And, well, to defame, well, I've really not been a reviewer or blogger of anything of too much within Second Life until, well, right now. But I felt this was a good one to start off on. So yeah, as promised, the wrap up. Azazel Macabre of 718, I guess, is it 718 boots or 718 shoes, or is it just 718?
Just 718.
So yeah, just 718. So shop at your own risk, shop if you dare. Hey, shop if you like what's there. But do know that he's probably only going to start being nice after someone has finally brought him to some level of accountability in the form of a review, and facts kind of don't lie. And if I do end up getting one day banned for supposedly showing a message, well, if you are going to get banned for something that you streamed that someone messaged to you, and it's not a case of someone doing a copy paste, pushing it in the idea that it's true, but there's no way to check if that's true, well, that narrative goes right out the window with streaming, ladies and gentlemen. Because streaming and recording, it takes a lot of money that I ain't got to, push that kind of a narrative and go that far out of their way. No, I can literally just turn on OBS, put my thoughts, and it's right there where he chose to post, including with "do as you will." So I'd say that's permission enough. If not, go ahead, knock me off, because Linden Labs has not been doing so great, and I'm kind of hoping they're going to turn around this year, because if they don't turn it around this year, my personal projection is that 3 years after that, it's probably just going to be a slow dwindling down from what we know, because I find it very hard to even keep fellow people who fly airplanes and travelers, well, traveling at all. I've sadly had one quit out today because now there's networking stuff with all the changes that his network card or his ISP is just not keeping up with, and it's going to be way too long before he comes back. So another one's retired out, just like unfortunately Suma's also kind of semi-retired. He'll fly once in a blue moon. Normally he's kind of doing a little bit more with Astral Tech, testing something or playing some other games, but at least he tries once in a while. But it's getting harder out here, and it's getting to the point where if we can't have our fun out here, then we have to find other things to enjoy if we're even going to be here at all. And usually, well, doing a little bit of window shopping and being able to ask a vendor a question or someone that would have on staff that would be willing to answer the question, kind of a thing that we should really be expecting from vendors, even if it's on a digital landscape by now. And certainly not being banned. Then have a guy come up and literally try and say, oh, well, you were banned for defaming the store. Okay, how? How was I defaming the store? When I'm only doing it now. Because, well, this is the first real bad review I've put up anywhere. Would I have an opinion to share otherwise in passing about how I got banned from your store? Yeah, maybe. But again, that would still be after I was banned from your store. So how was I banned for defaming your store? Bruh. Be real. Be truthful. Be a better vendor. And I think that if you're nicer to the next people who come along, this little review thing won't matter. I'm sure it'll get you pissed off at me and that you'll report me to Linden Labs. Go ahead. But as far as I know, there's nothing against reviews. Especially when it's a clean stream. So, enjoy your day. Maybe we'll hash something out in the future, but it's to the point where I kind of got sick of vendors acting like this. And even if you had a bad day, well, until you have a bad situation from what you put on somebody, you're probably not going to be better for the next guy, or the next lady, or anything in between. So, I guess this is just my little personal social service. Anyways, thank you, good night, and I hope that you, ladies and gentlemen, have a much better shopping experience. Have a good one.